Want to improve your FPL performance this season? Use fantasyfootballfix.com to apply artificial intelligence and Opta stats to your FPL squad to maximize your points returns every game week. We have over 20 unique tools and features, including FPL price change predictor, squad optimizer, and full Opta stats with custom heat maps and predicted points. Click the link below and upload your FPL squad into fantasyfootballfix.com now. After a solid score of 91 points to start the new season, it's now time to turn our attention to the team selection plans for Gameweek 2. This weekend sees Chelsea host Arsenal in the late kickoff on Saturday, the two Manchester clubs line up against Huddersfield and Brighton on Sunday, while Jürgen Klopp's Liverpool travel to Crystal Palace on Monday night. As per the rotation plan, Lucas Fabianski comes off the bench to replace Ben Foster between the sticks, as West Ham welcome Bournemouth to the London Stadium. Last season, the Hammers kept 7 of their 10 clean sheets on home turf, and the former Swansea goalkeeper averaged 3.6 saves per game, compared to Foster's 2.7. Eric Bailly faces a Brighton side that failed to produce a shot on target in Game Week 1 during their 2-0 defeat to Watford, while Benjamin Mendy looks set to offer potential at both ends of the field once again against a Huddersfield side that suffered a 3-0 defeat to Chelsea on opening day. Only Brighton recorded fewer than Huddersfield's one effort on target, while West Ham, Cardiff and Newcastle were the only players to concede more big chances in Game Week 1 than the Terriers. For anyone who hasn't heard of that term before, a big chance is a situation where a player should reasonably be expected to score, as deemed by Opta. Andy Robertson was another left-back to impress in Game Week 1, but Liverpool could be somewhat tested by a Crystal Palace side that recorded a league-high tally of 10 efforts on target last weekend. Liverpool were one of only 5 teams not to concede a single big chance in their opening fixture, alongside Watford, Burnley, Man City and Crystal Palace themselves. The midfield is also expected to remain the same, with Everton's Richarlison the only player doubtful as things stand. But the former Watford midfielder is expected to be fit to face Southampton in Game Week 2, with reports suggesting he was suffering from cramp rather than a serious injury. Liverpool's Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah impressed against West Ham, but they're up against a Crystal Palace side that have kept clean sheets in 4 of their last 5 Premier League matches, conceding just 1 goal over that period. So whilst it's certainly worth holding on to the Liverpool duo, Crystal Palace's form towards the end of last season and in their opening game of the new season could be a factor when considering captaincy for Game Week 2. Despite a relatively poor game for Lucas Moura last weekend, Spurs welcomed Fulham to Wembley on Saturday, a side that conceded more efforts on target than any other team last weekend. With Heung-min Son now absent at the Asian Games, and Eric Lamela expected to remain sidelined with injury, Lucas Moura is likely to retain his starting place for Spurs, so he gets another chance here. Amongst the forwards, it's Sergio Agüero who looks to be the standout for potential to return points in Game Week 2, as Man City welcome Huddersfield to the Etihad. The Terriers conceded 33 goals away from home last season. Only Everton, Leicester and West Ham had a worse away record amongst the current Premier League teams. Wilfried Zaha scored during the win over Fulham last weekend, and his involvement in 2 big chances in Game Week 1 was level with Salah, and joint second only to Callum Wilson. Although Liverpool kept 17 clean sheets last season, only 5 came in away matches. Josh King caused frustration in Game Week 1 after allowing Callum Wilson to take a penalty ahead of him, but despite coming up against West Ham and Lucas Fabianski, he stays in the team for now, more with his Game Week 3 fixture against Everton in mind. It's always handy to be able to bank a free transfer after Game Week 1 and look to react with multiple moves ahead of Game Week 3, when we'll have more information to go off, so that remains the plan. It's shaping up to be a 2-horse race for the Game Week 2 captaincy, with the ever-reliable Mohamed Salah travelling away to Crystal Palace, while Sergio Agüero has that enticing home encounter with Huddersfield. If you fancy a slightly more outside-the-box captain, Benjamin Mendy could be one to consider, with Man City looking capable of keeping the clean sheet against the Terriers, and after the France left-back's promising attacking display last weekend. But captaining a defender is always a risky move, and in Salah and Aguero we've got 2 of the best attacking players in the Premier League, leading the line for teams who can't seem to stop scoring goals. The Argentine ranked joint 9th for his 2 shots from inside the box last weekend, compared to Salah's 3 efforts, and the pair each registered 2 attempted assists. But it's the growing defensive form of Crystal Palace that causes concern. As mentioned earlier, They kept 3 clean sheets from their last 4 matches at the end of last season, and picked up right where they left off with a recent 2-0 away win over Fulham. If there's anyone who can breach them, of course it's Mohamed Salah. But are the odds stacked more in Sergio Agüero's favour this weekend, with a more attractive fixture? For now, the armband is with the Man City forward, but it will be important to listen out for Pep Guardiola's press conference later this week, in case he drops any clues regarding his team selection and possible rotation. So be sure to follow @_FPLtips on Twitter to get the latest updates to this team prior to the deadline.